Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Pearl Fontaine. Thank you for joining us. Topping the headlines, Dominica's public sector investment program reaps rewards in 2012. The housing assistance for displaced families to take effect this year, and Drug Awareness Month launched. Stay with us for details of these and other stories when National Focus returns.
You're watching GIS.
Welcome back. A Chinese-funded housing project for the island's indigenous people is progressing as planned. Housing Minister Honorable Reginald Austrie told GIS News recently that 10 of the 40 houses being constructed in the Kalinago territory have already been completed. The minister attributes the timely completion of the houses to the efficiency of the contractors.
We've started on the Chinese-funded project, where the Chinese had offered us some 40 houses. We have completed the first 10, and I believe those have been allocated. I must say, though, and I must congratulate the contractors. They did an excellent job. Although these are the same set of contractors we used for the Venezuelan project, but I guess the Venezuelan project was a very trying project. Many of the contractors had not handled 465 houses at the same time. So it was very, very challenging, and so it took more time than we expected to finish the Venezuelan one. But the Chinese ones are going very, very quickly. We use a different system of management, reduce on the number of houses that we're going to give to each contractor. When he completed those, he would be judged based on his performance, and he would re-tender for another set. If he was satisfied with what he did in the first 3 or 2, whatever he had, then we would consider him. If we were not satisfied, then he would not be considered. And that was the instruction that was given to the contractors at the start of the project. And I must say that they worked very, very efficiently, very, very, very quickly. That project was much more better managed. And to assist us, we brought in an engineer who is dedicated to that particular project. So that's going very well. And I think they probably about 50, 60% on the second group of houses within a 4 or 5 month period. So that has been going very well. The first 10, I believe, have been allocated, because we don't wait to complete all the houses before we allocate. As soon as the houses are complete, we allocate the houses. So that has been done, and I believe that towards the end of February, the second 10 should be ready for allocation.
The $1.4 million project is an extension of government's Housing Revolution program in the Kalinago territory. Once the houses have been completed, government will work with the Carib Council to facilitate the allocation of the houses to residents. More on the Housing Revolution program. This time, residents of San Seve will benefit from the Housing Revolution program this year. That's according to Housing Minister Honorable Reginald Austrie. The government of Dominica, with assistance from the Chinese government, will this year seek to relocate families who were displaced as a result of natural disasters.
You remember when we had the landslide, we had to relocate at least 6 or 7 families from the landslide area. We have identified the lands for that, and with the assistance of the Chinese government, we're committing to assist these families in construction and erecting their own homes.
The minister says residents of Maho who were affected by last year's tropical storm Ophelia will also be given some housing assistance.
In Maho, after the Ophelia, a number of the people had to be displaced because they were right in the river, in the course of the river. We were also seeking out to identify the lands, and again with the assistance of the Chinese government, who promised us assistance in that regard. In fact, the Chinese technicians are on island now looking at the sites and doing the logistics, so we can start on those 2 projects early in the new year.
The Housing Revolution program continues to make its mark with a housing project earmarked for the Cotton Hill area in Lagos, which will also get off the ground this year.
Also in Cotton Hill in Lagos, we have had this project there that we've been trying to execute for the last couple of years. The problem we had with that is the nature of the land, because we want to go into the Cotton Hill area. But as you know, Cotton Hill is probably the last piece of real estate in possession of the state in Dominica. I mean, you have all these 500-600 acres of land, which has always been dedicated to high-end development, tourism development, marina development. Right now, we have the Moroccan Hotel. So we need to be very careful how we utilize the lands in that area, lest we devalue the area and we miss out on an opportunity where we could have some major development there, but because we didn't use the land properly, we lost that opportunity. And so we've been looking, in fact, we've been there twice trying to identify where is the best location where we could do those houses without affecting the rest, the aesthetics and the integrity of the rest of the estate. I believe now we're looking at an area just 2 weeks ago, the London Service Division people were down there, they were looking at a particular area. I think that area is suitable. We now have to go and do the land use development, to do the layout, do the subdivisions, and we're hoping somewhere next couple of months we'll have a document that we can take to the cabinet and we can decide on the way forward for the housing for the people of Lago. But it's a project that is still on cards, it's still on the table, and we're hoping during the course of this year we'll see some movement on that project.
As far as land settlement and land distribution is concerned, government is looking to grant access to farmlands in the Rosalie and Dalis area. In more news, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit believes government's decision to support Liat as the Caribbean's regional airline is an excellent one. In a recent interview with GIS, he stated that once Liat has been redeveloped, Dominica will realize the importance of government investment.
Decision, and Dominicans will have recognized the importance of Liat to Dominica and will continue to do so because there are no other options on the horizon. And if we have something that's existing, are we prepared to cause it to go under and then seek to reinvent another airline like Liat?
According to the Prime Minister, despite Liat's minor setbacks, government still deemed it necessary to endorse Liat because essentially Dominica on a wider scale benefits from the service Liat provides.
We are mindful of the internal challenges confronting Liat. We're not unmindful of that. We recognize that Liat is an insolvent company, but which public sector entity that provides a public service doesn't have issues of inefficiency and not having a profit. Classic case in point, the World Caribbean Music Festival. If we are to look at the bottom line, whether the festival brings in a profit at the end of the 3 nights, we would not have continued the World Caribbean Music Festival. But we recognize that the hoteliers benefit, the taxi operators benefit, the vendors benefit, the restaurants in Dominica benefit, people who have bed and breakfast and who have homes for rent benefit from the Caribbean Music Festival. So the economy benefits tremendously from the hosting the World Caribbean Music Festival. And the government benefits by way of indirect taxation. People consume, and therefore you collect more VAT during that period of time. So it's so similar to Liat. Liat brings in people to our country who can consume the goods and services which you offer in Dominica. So when you look at it, Liat is one of the biggest contributors to our economy. When all things are considered, and if Liat is such, then we have a responsibility and indeed an obligation to support Liat.
In other news, government's foreign policy is responsible for many of Dominica's achievements in infrastructural developments. That's the view of Minister for Public Works, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore. Speaking to GIS about his ministry's major achievements last week, Honorable Blackmore underscored that government's prudence in foreign relations is paying off.
The number of projects we see manifesting on the ground could not have been a reality. So it goes back to the style of leadership and a government that has what it takes to create new avenues for attracting the requisite resources that we need to take us to the next level. And I'm very much grateful for that.
Minister Blackmore revealed that a $22 million bridge is ahead for Clark Hall, Layu, thanks to the government of the People's Republic of China.
We have to be futuristic now thinking. And so we were designing a 2-lane bridge, and that will be funded by the People's Republic of China. And they came and they said they will be providing us with a new bridge in that area. We have been able to also, through the instrumentality of the Ministry of Finance, attract a concessionary loan from the Caribbean Development Bank for the requisite defense mechanism that we need to put in place in the Layo Valley area. That is to say, the realignment of the road, the construction of river walls, etc. The Chinese technical team, who got there that's about 2 weeks ago, and they're now doing the designs, and working with our technical team, local technical team. From the ministry, it's been headed by Mr. Lancelot. And to design, and that is very important because we know what took place when you saw the collapse of the Matthew Dam. And the Clackhall Bridge was significantly damaged. So that, into going forward in 2013, will be a major project where you're looking at least $22 million that will go into that project.
Roads in both Good Hope and San Sever are next on the list of major upcoming projects within the Ministry of Public Works.
We have just signed 2 contracts, one in Good Hope and San Sever, to do a crossing and a returning wall, because that area itself was challenged as a result of the heavy rains we had last November. So it has been a national effort by way of infrastructural development, more so roads.
In related news, Public Works Minister Honorable Rayburn Blackmore believes that the Mont Prosper Road project is a premier example of the Roosevelt Skerrit-led administration's concern for the well-being of the Dominican people. This concern stems from Dominica's worst road disaster caused when a truck carrying 35 passengers plunged over a precipice in Mont Prosper in 1975. The truck driver lost control on the hill before a sharp bend on the Mont Prosper Road and plummeted over a cliff. 28 people, including children, were killed, leaving Defense Force personnel, firemen, police officers, and volunteers to retrieve dead bodies and search for survivors among the trees on the cliff face. To greatly minimize the risk of such a tragedy from ever occurring again, government has completed infrastructural works on the road and is now in the process of implementing safety measures along that road.
Look at this Mont Prosper, and this is an area where we had a very tragic accident many years ago. Not one administration seriously addressed the road. That's the reality. Now, as you leave Cobb Toll intersection of Mont Prosper, you drive on that road, is a big improvement. We are just about to construct the concrete drains there and put in the necessary safety measures. And that is to say the guardrails, etc.
The month of January has been declared Drug Awareness Month by the Drug Abuse Prevention Unit. GIS News spoke with Director of National Drug Abuse Prevention Unit, Jacinta Banis, to get an overview of what Drug Awareness Month really means.
Drug Awareness Month is what we call our signature event, and we do it every year. The main purpose is to build awareness among the general population, so we're going to target everybody, schools, parents, entire communities. So it's basically to continue the work that we've been doing throughout the year.
According to the drug prevention official, the unit has planned activities for various locations around the island throughout the month of January. Among those events, a drug awareness message from Health Minister Honorable Julius Timothy, an educational visit to Dominica coconut products, and a massive exhibition.
We have a number of activities planned for Drug Awareness Month this year. We started with the minister's message that was aired on radio yesterday. Today we are here at GIS. 2 of my officers are going to be at DCP this morning to do a session on alcohol, for the workers, and to look at workplace productivity. We'll be having a church service on Sunday at the Paybush Baptist Church, and Friday evening we'll be on the BID program, which is the police program. For the next week, from the 7th to the 10th, we'll be having our information booth set up ground floor of the ministry, the government headquarters. In that booth, we'll be just distributing literature. So we're encouraging parents, students to come in, because very often students who are doing the SBA, they want information. So we'll have information there for them. So persons who want, to know more about certain drugs, whether it's alcohol, marijuana, crack cocaine, and even those drugs that have not yet reached our shores, like, meth and heroin. So we'll be having information for them. So that booth will run for the entire week downstairs of the ground floor government headquarters.
According to Ms. Banis, no social group is exempt since parents, college students, and youth are among the masses set to benefit from the awareness activities planned for the month.
We are going to start what we call a parenting program, because we believe at the Drug Prevention Unit that due to bad parenting, very often most of our children go astray. So at the San Jose Primary School, we are collaborating with the school, the East Caribbean Child Federation, to run a 3-month program. So we are starting the week of the 14th at the San Jose Primary School. During Drug Awareness Month, we'll be working with the Youth Skills Department of the Youth Division. We'll be doing 3 sessions for them at the GMIT facility, where the young men are involved in welding. So we are going to do some drug education for them. Our drug exhibition will take us to the Dominica State College on the 17th and also in Marigot on the 23rd. So we'll be having 2 exhibitions. We are going to target the State College students and the community of Marigot. So it will be the schools from Concord up to maybe Wesley, the Northeast Comprehensive will come and view the exhibition. At those exhibitions, we are collaborating with the Health Promotion Unit, the Drug Squad, HIV/AIDS, and we'll also work with the health team in those communities. And during those exhibitions, persons can come in to probably check their what we call their BMI, to check their glucose level, to check their pressure and stuff like that. So the health team will be doing that kind of activity for us.
From the literary perspective, the National Drug Abuse Prevention Unit has created a manual that will aid early childhood educators to teach drug awareness. Banis confirmed that the teaching aid will be launched this month.
We will be launching our preschool manual. For the last 2 years, we've been working with the preschool teachers in developing, a manual that would give them, guidelines on how to teach drug education. Very often, teachers feel they don't feel comfortable teaching the subject, but we have put it in such a way that through songs, through little poems, and nice little lesson plans that they can teach, which will be age appropriate. So most of it, because children don't forget songs, they don't forget the little things that you teach them, especially for preschoolers. And we are going to have the teachers use the manual to teach drug education. And not only just teach it as a subject, but to incorporate it. For example, you're doing an English lesson, you're doing a math, you're doing the social studies lesson. So we want them to integrate that into the lesson plan and, have the children, understand it at which is appropriate for them. Because they will be looking at the preschoolers and the grade K students. So we want to launch the manual on the 22nd of January.
Schools will also have their part to play in raising drug awareness about drug abuse.
We are having 4 school rallies, 1 in Calibishi. So that is for the schools from Wesley up to Calibishi. We'll be having 1 in Pont Michel, so the schools from Girardel, Pichelin, Soufriere, and including Pont Michel. The 1 in La Plaine will be for the schools from Grand Font to Delis. And the 1 in Salisbury will take St. Joseph up to Dublin. So we are going to bring, all the schools together for a march and rally. And we're hoping that these little sessions will be addressed by the PAL reps, the chair of the village council, and other resource persons in the community. So the children themselves will develop their own placards, and then, after we have a little, ceremony, we'll do the march in the community.
The rallies will take place in Calibishi on the 18th, in La Plaine on the 25th, in Salisbury on the 29th, and in Pont Michel on the 31st of this month. Also during the month, the Drug Abuse Prevention Unit will be holding a candlelight vigil in Kulibishri following school and community-based activities coordinated with the Public Library on the 24th. The Drug Abuse Prevention Coordinator said that physical activity will be bringing down the curtains on the awareness campaign with a market-to-market walk beginning at the Rosa Market and ending at the Maho Market on February 2nd. And finally, government's Public Sector Investment Program, PSIP, executed in 2012, is said to have had significant revenue benefits for the island. Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, DASPA, Benoit Badwell, made that observation during a recent interview with GIS News.
I must say that the public sector investment program put in by the government, as we know, that we had several projects, the stadium, the college being built, we had the presidential thing being built. So in terms of the public sector investment program, that has done considerably well for the port in terms of the movement of cargo flows. So that has sort of assisted in terms of filling the gap for some of those imports that we've lost come from the commercial sector.
Several sectors of the island economy recorded growth in the last financial year. This growth is expected to continue this year by ongoing public sector investment projects, as well as government-supported activities like the new Moroccan government-funded hotel in Portsmouth and other private sector projects. And that's news. Stay tuned for the tip of the day. The best way to greet the new year is to start off on a healthy note. So today I am greeting everybody a healthy new year. And on that note, I will share with you healthy tips that you can use for the months ahead of you. Remember, health is wealth. Here's a list of some highly nutritious foods to assist on your quest to a healthy 2013. Did you know that half a medium-sized papaya carries nearly 75% more vitamin C than an orange? Now, that's more than enough reason to consume lots of papaya this year. A quarter cup of pumpkin seeds gives you a day's magnesium requirement. Magnesium is a mineral that's crucial to the body's function. It helps keep blood pressure normal, bones strong, and the heart rhythm steady. Try to eat lots of avocado this year. It has about 35% more potassium than a banana. Almonds are loaded with vitamin E, and consuming oatmeal can induce the steady flow of serotonin, which is used to regulate intestinal movements. And that's it for National Focus today. We welcome your suggestions and comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm. Friend us on facebook.com/GIS News, and be sure to like our fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube page. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Fontaine. Thank you for watching.